Well, hello, Brittany. I am so happy to have you on the podcast. How is everything going with you?
It's going great. I'm really excited to be here and to dive in. I'm like sitting on pins and needles.
Yay. Okay, so we're going to dive right the hell into it. You love SEO, you also love storytelling, and you have all these cool things that you teach. I'm really excited to sort of dive into SEO with you for a product based business and for anyone who has an online store. SEO really should be one of your main focuses because when you have all that stuff set up, you don't need to always rely on, I mean, you still want traffic from social media, but you don't have to rely on it 100%. And SEO will bring you organic traffic, and that is the name of the game. So, before we dive into all that good stuff, do you want to just introduce yourself and just tell everyone a little bit about what you do and what your business is?
Yeah. So my name is Brittany Herzberg. You don't even have to try to say that. A lot of people call me B, Brittany, whatever. I am an SEO and case study copywriter, and I got here by way of massage therapy, which requires a little explanation. So in 2020, I was home. I wasn't able to work on my clients. Around that time, I also discovered this whole online business world, online marketing world, and really dove in. So I learned copywriting. I learned that I already was copywriting for myself and discovered that I could do this for other people and they would pay me, and it was something that was being searched for. A little bit later, I dove into the world of SEO. And the way that I think of things, like, you can't do copywriting without having SEO in there. So for me, it was always just like, this is part of the workflow, this is part of what we do. And I really got into it because I wanted to prove to myself that SEO didn't have to be so costly, so expensive. It wasn't only for like the big boys of like the big businesses. And yeah, like I love it, and now it's in everything that I do.
I love that. And I also read in your website that, and I don't know if you actually meant you worked there or it was just like an expression. Did you actually work at Starbucks?
No, I did.
You did?
For I think it was around 2 years I worked there as a barista.
I love that.
Yeah.
I read that and I was like, oh my gosh, I knew I liked her for a reason because I am like a huge Starbucks. I actually went to I went to their headquarters this past week on my birthday.
Did you really? Oh my
I
gosh! Well,
did.
happy belated birthday! And what was that like?
Thank you. It was awesome. It was awesome. So I'm a huge Starbucks fan. I know some people listening might be like, support your local coffee shops, and I do. Trust me, I waste a lot of money every month on goddamn coffee from everywhere. But I love
Same.
Starbucks. I love their mission. I love the story. I love their whole history of how they started, how it evolved from like a coffee bean roastery into what it is today. And that it's, I don't know if you know all the, like, if you read Howard Schultz's book. I love him. I'm like obsessed with him. Anyway, long story short, yes, I live outside Seattle and I finally went to the headquarters. They have a, what is it called? Starbucks Reserve, it's called. It's awesome. It is awesome. It's not the original like location of Starbucks or anything, but it's like the base of their headquarter office, and they have this really beautiful setup where you can get different, like it's almost like a secret menu. They have different food items, different drinks that you can get. It's really,
Wow.
really beautiful. It's like industrial themed. They even have a
Mm.
bar where they make like specific coffee drinks, and they have all these rooms that you can work in. It is really beautiful. So I was very impressed. And I
Wow.
mean, no shocker because I love
Yeah.
Starbucks. And it was just really kind of cool to like go in there and see all the people walking around with their little Starbucks badges. And I'm like, oh, I wish I worked at
Mhm.
Starbucks.
You say that until you work there, and then you're like, oh, I work here. It's a very interesting environment, but I loved the
Yeah.
group that I worked with. Unfortunately, they closed down our location in Durham, North Carolina. But
Oh,
if they hadn't done that, I wouldn't have gone to massage school. I wouldn't have ended up being a copywriter. So it's
sure.
definitely tied into my story in a deep way.
Yeah. I feel like we need to hear more about your Starbucks history. I just think that's so cool. Anyway,
Well, it's
yeah, I saw
pretty funny
that and I
because
was
I
like,
had a
oh,
couple of
oh no, keep
no,
going.
I had a
Sorry.
couple of people. Sorry, there's a delay. I'm trying to like pause for it. There were a couple of guys that I ran into after the store closed. We always had this group of like 4 or 5 guys every single morning just about, who would come in. They were retired. Sometimes they would have their dogs. Sometimes they would have like their wives with them. Mostly it was just the group of guys though. But after our store closed and I was going to massage school and then I became a massage therapist, I would see them out and about, and always the first thing was like, Brittany, is that you? Because people get very used to seeing you like this with like a hat on and then the green apron, and then you remove that and they're like, who are you? I know you.
Oh my God, that's so funny. I love it. I'll have to ask more questions about later.
It was a fun job.
I'm definitely a huge Starbucks fan. So anyway, moving on from Starbucks, let's talk about SEO. So I know everyone listening is like, tell me all the dirt, give me all the information. I don't like SEO. I think it's boring. It's confusing. I don't like words, blah, 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 blah. So let's kind of try to simplify it for people listening. First, maybe you could just tell everyone, why is SEO important for someone who has an e-commerce business? Like why should they put some attention into SEO?
Yeah. You're selling a product that probably somebody else is also selling, and you want to stand out and you want to find the people that are really, you're going to like mesh with. They're going to get your mission. They're going to understand you. They're going to love your product. They're going to turn into a raving fan. We need to find those people. And you do that by having a strategy where you show up in the search results. I like to say SEO, yes, it means search engine optimization, but to most of us, that pretty much doesn't mean anything. SEO is how you show up as the answer to a Googled question. So let's say, I love using my dog as an example. So let's say I'm looking for something for my dog. I'm going to go ask my friends, and then I'm going to go consult Google. Even if I've asked my friend, I'm still going to go look online. I'm looking for a variety of things, but really I've got whatever I have in my head, whether it's like a doggy bandana or a certain kind of collar or a certain kind of supplement. I want to find it, so I'm going to go online and look. And if you're not optimizing your website or really any content, any listings of your products, anything, you're not going to show up where people are literally looking for you and for that thing you have.
Gotcha. I love that so much. Yeah, and I think that makes sense. And the other thing too, I just want to like point in there is that I know so many of you rely heavily on Instagram or TikTok to get traffic, and I think that's great. Social media is an easy place to start, and it's definitely an easy place to get sales, but you want to be focusing on the things that really help you show up on a search engine. That's pretty much like the fundamental thing of like what I teach people is organic traffic, organic visibility. How can I show up on different places without social media and without doing advertising? So that's really my jam, and that's how I built my first business, which was a product business. And I got into SEO after, a year of having the business. And I really loved it because it kind of combines like creativity and data into one. And that's what I kind of liked about it. So I love that I could be creative with it, which we can talk about. But also then I was actually seeing results, and I could see, okay, I'm ranking from this to this. I'm getting this one blog post is going from this much traffic each month to this much. So I love that kind of thing where you can be creative and data driven. But people that I work with in my programs and, different places, I think there's a common theme with SEO, and that is, I would say 2 things. 1, people find it really confusing. And number 2, people get frustrated when they don't get results quickly. I have literally, I'm not even joking, and I'm sure you get the same thing. I'll tell someone, okay, like say they're in one of my programs and we do a live Q&A, and I'm like, okay, your product is this. Let's work on your product page, title and meta description. And we update it. And then 2 days later, they email me, Kerrie, I'm not showing up in Google. Like, SEO doesn't work. And I'm not saying that to be sassy to everyone. I love you all so much, and I want you to show up on goddamn Google. However, it doesn't work overnight. So the frustration for people is that they don't feel like possibly that SEO is worth their time, because they're not going to get results today or tomorrow or next week or probably a few months from now. Therefore, they think maybe it's not worth my time. So I would say those are like the 2 objections I hear from people constantly on why SEO is not a priority for them. Do you want to kind of speak to those or like bust some of those myths you don't mind.
Oh, for sure. What was the first one? I'm going to write it down so I don't forget it.
First one is, what was I saying? I talk too much. I can't help it. The first one is that, oh, it's like confusing. They don't know what to do.
Oh,
Like, oh my gosh,
yeah.
keywords. What do I do with them? Where do I put them? What keywords do
Yeah.
I rank for? Kind of the entire process of on-page SEO. I think people just find
Yeah.
complicated.
And really, on-page SEO is where I started, and now it's pretty much where I hang out because that is the easiest thing to control, kind of, if you will, and to even
Yeah.
have a strategy for. It was the very first thing that I went to. So, rewind, I had the massage practice, and I was diving into SEO, and I was like, what is this? What can I do? The first thing I changed were the SEO title and the meta description. And if that is gibberish to you, know this. Think through, you go to Google, you've got the search bar, you type a thing in, you hit enter. That page that shows up is called a SERP, search engine results page. On that page, you have the blue hyperlinked headline text, and then you have some gray little like paragraph, a sentence or two underneath that. Those two pieces, that hyperlinked headline and the little gray paragraph underneath, that's your SEO title in the blue, and in the gray is your meta description. That is what helps you get found. So, like, that was my very first step. I saw results pretty quickly, actually, just by putting the title and the description on the page. But to your point, figuring out keywords to even target, and then understanding how to take those and go use them on page or on page SEO, yeah, that feels very overwhelming to someone. That was why I created the SEO checklist that I have, and I'll share that with you for everyone listening. But it doesn't have to be as complicated as we think it is. The gurus who are out there who are talking about SEO, they make it sound really complicated, really expensive, really time consuming. And you can be very technical, you can have a really robust strategy, but there's also a simpler strategy that's available to you. So doing the keyword research, which for me always, always, always starts with looking at your social proof, which we can get into. But I always want to look at what your people are actually saying about you and your product and working with you, and then dive into the keywords. Another thing that people could do as you're listening, think through who do you help, how do you help them, and what do you want to be known for? And this applies whether you have a service-based business or a product-based business. Those three questions, and then looking at your social proof, will help you kind of like streamline into doing your keyword research. And then you could download something like the checklist to figure out where to put them on the page. But before I get into like it taking too long, does that help, or are there any things that you want to like touch on?
We'll come back to it. I would love to I'm going to give you a specific product that I have in mind from someone that I've recently bought from, and maybe we can just go through for this business. Maybe this is like what you might be searching for. So maybe we'll come back to that. Yeah.
Okay, so as far as it taking too long, yes, SEO and time are best friends, but that means that the sooner you start, the better it's going to be. They're like besties. It also, another thing that I say is SEO ages like a fine wine or like a fancy cheese. That's just a mental image that we can get. So I also like to remind people that it's never too early and it's never too late to get started with SEO. I prioritize my clients a whole heck of a lot more than I prioritize my own stuff, but that doesn't mean that me getting started right now in fall of 2023 is too late. That just means that I might have a little bit longer of a path to go. So it's never too late, it's never too early. If you're getting started in business, please make it one of the first things that you do. Like, I'm begging you. Because you're going to be given an SEO strategy whether or not you want one. Search engines have to figure out on their own, if you're not feeding them the information, they have to figure out who you are, what you do, where to show you to people. So by you plugging that information in, you're just making it easier for Google to play matchmaker. And as far as like the exact amount of time, usually the rule of thumb, the thing that you'll hear most SEOs say is that 3 to 6 months is really the fastest that you'll see some results. There are some outliers to that. It also depends on a whole host of factors, but yeah, don't change your SEO title and meta description and expect to see a difference within 5 days.
I know. I love when I get that burst, and it happens a lot actually. I'm thinking of one thing in particular that someone I worked with recently, they literally it was like 1 or 2 days later. I'm not showing up on Google. And even my dad, I helped him build, actually, I built a website for him in Squarespace a year and a half ago. I don't know. I think it was about a year and a half ago. He's, retired engineer, but he likes woodworking and he can build all this like crazy woodworking stuff. So anyway, he like resells these tools. I'm sorry, did I just say he resells them? He does not resell anything. He basically wanted to create education around this like really boring woodworking tool, which I'm not going to go into. And he wanted to create a website. So I created a website for him in Squarespace. And like literally a week later, he calls me. He's like, Kerrie, I don't understand, why am I not showing up on Google? I just searched for this and it's not showing up. And I'm like, it takes a long time. You're not going to show up after like 1 week. Mm-hmm. So I'm laughing, but this is a very common question. And the other thing is, I think we are very impatient people. 2023, we are the most impatient goddamn people. And so if we don't get fast results on something, it's really hard to maintain interest for someone. I don't know if that's how you feel with a lot of the people that you work with, and I do that in my own business. Sometimes if I'm not getting, like sometimes with the podcast, I'm like, my downloads aren't growing enough. Like, is this worth it? Should I keep doing it? Of course, I'm having a panicky moment, and then it passes, and I'm like, just shut up and keep going. But I think it's hard just in general as people, if we don't get results quickly, we question, is it worth it? Should I stick with it? And I agree with you. It's completely, SEO is so important. And I know I was recently on your podcast recently, and I think we talked about something, but I said, if I was starting a product-based business tomorrow, SEO would be one of the first things that I would focus on. From day one, I would be doing on-page SEO, and I would be creating blog content. So every month I would have a couple blogs that would go out that would answer people's questions that they were asking about my product. I would do that from day one. Because if you do that from day one, after 6 months, a year, you have all this content that is basically telling Google what you sell. And number two, it's answering questions that your customers are typing into Google to search for. So you mentioned the matchmaker word, and I love that because it really does match with like a query or question that someone's searching for with your blog post. And then that's how someone discovers you in the first place. So it's so important. And I kind of wasted the first year of my product business not focusing on SEO. And it was definitely a huge mistake because once I did focus on it, I started to get traffic. So anyway, but maybe it's helpful for people just to use an example. I know you like case studies. Case studies are your jam. I love that. Let's do like a little case study here. So one of my people that were in, one of the amazing ladies that just wrapped up my Cultish product program. She sells personalized pet stickers. I know you mentioned your dog. So let's dive into the dog thing. She sells personalized pet stickers. She also sells other stickers. So if you were advising her on SEO, what would you tell her to do? Like, how should she get started? What keywords should she be looking for in the tools? And like, what tool do you recommend? Maybe just like walk through, if you're working with her, what should she do from step 1, step 2, step 3?
Yeah, this is great. So she's been in business for a little while?
I don't know. Maybe a year? I forget.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's enough.
Let's say a year.
So she's had some people buy from her. Okay.
Yes.
We'll guesstimate a year. So you've worked with people. That's what I'm looking for, is like, if you have worked with people, you want to go and talk to them. You could do this a few different ways. You could talk to them one-to-one. You could just look through emails and text messages and order forms and like look at the little messages that people have shared, or even after they receive the stickers. And we're looking for a few things. What are they saying about you? So if there was like a hiccup in delivery, or if you needed to like remake the stickers or something went wrong, quote unquote, how did you handle it? What was your personality like? What could they tell by just like messaging back and forth with you? So we want to look at you. What are they saying about you? What are they saying about their experience? Again, was there a hiccup? Was everything like bright, shiny rainbows and amazingness? And then what was it like once they got their stickers? And were they sending you pictures of them everywhere? And like, what did they love about them? So we want to get specific. That's what I'm getting at. With you, your process, like the experience of someone working with you, and then the results after they get the product. What are their words? Because then we can take that. I like to brainstorm with like a good old fashioned notebook and pen, and I'll just give myself like 5 minutes on the clock, and I'm writing down. If I, looking at the social proof that I have and these testimonials and this feedback, what would I be possibly typing into Google to try to find me and my stickers? And I'm just going to write down questions, thoughts, phrases that they might be typing in, whatever. Give yourself 5 minutes. When the timer is done, it's done. And then what you're going to go do is test your hypothesis. So I'm on a Mac, so I'm going to say this next part. You need to pull up Google Chrome. So pull up Google Chrome. You want to make sure you have the Ubersuggest extension. It's free. It's very easy to use. It's super intuitive. But I use that, keywords everywhere, in just the Google search results page. So let's say I'm looking for, personalized pet sticker. Let's just say someone's going to say that. So I'm going to type in personalized pet stickers, hit enter. Then I'm going to look at the Google page, all of the results. Does it make sense for my product to show up on this page? If it's more results about like how to make personalized pet stickers, those aren't your people, because you're trying to sell stickers to someone. If the results are more like, I'm looking for stickers that I can make about a dachshund, or that I can make with a picture of a dog and their name, that's where you want to be, because you're selling stickers to someone who wants to just buy the stickers from you. So that would be a good keyword. Couple of things to look for. What I just walked you through is search intent. So we want to make sure that that's a match, so that the people who are finding these other results, it makes sense for them to find your page. The second thing you want to look for is something called search volume. What that means is how many people on average each month are typing this phrase into Google. I tell my clients, you want to aim for anywhere from 0 to 1,000. We don't want to go over 1,000 because we don't want to be a tiny fish in a big pond and get lost. But really the sweet spot I have found is anywhere from like 0 to 100 is really, really good, because you're getting really specific with that keyword, that key phrase. And that means that the people who are going to find you, they're more than likely a warm to hot audience. So definitely 0 to 1,000, 0 to 100 is like gold star level. From there, I make a list of keywords that are like 5 to 10 keywords long. So give yourself maybe a half an hour to look through keywords and actually create them. Then what we're going to do is start to weave that into your copy on your website. So you were talking about marrying the data and the creativity. This is a fine line, and not everybody walks it as well as we do. But I realized that that's definitely a sweet spot of mine. So you want to have your personality come through. You want to be clever. You want to be cutesy. You want your brand to come through. And you don't want it to be so confusing that someone can't find you or doesn't really understand what you do or what you're selling. So I like to just write whatever headline you're going to write for that page, for that product listing, and then weave in some of those keywords, so that it's like natural and it feels authentic and it feels like something that you would actually say to someone. And a good way to test that out is just to say it out loud. You want to follow certain character counts and things like that, so you want to be careful of that with headlines. But from there, you're going to put your keywords in your headlines. You can put it in your product description. You can put it in definitely the SEO title and meta description, and a few other places. Images is a big one for product-based businesses. So yeah, that's like your starter pack.
Okay, cool. Okay, let's dissect it a little bit. So personalized pet stickers. So I'm going to go to Ubersuggest, which is my favorite tool. So I'm glad that you recommended that. I haven't used the Chrome extension though, so I'm going to have to download that. Do you get the same like 3 searches a day, or do you get more with the Chrome extension? Is it the same thing as like the...
I think you get 3 searches if you have the free one, but if you have... So I decided to pay because this is something that I'm going to use for myself and my clients, so it made sense to pay. But I like to give options, so if someone is just looking and they just want to use this as a tool and they don't really want to make a career out of SEO, then definitely get the Chrome extension. It does limit you, yeah.
Okay, just wanted to double check. Okay, so I sell, or Rachel, I'll use her name, she sells personalized pet stickers. And she's going to go and type into Ubersuggest, like let's say personalized, or like the best gifts for dog moms, or like the best gifts for dog lovers, or I don't know, something, because I think that's the thing where people get stuck, at least when they come to me and they're like, okay, I don't know, I sell designed water bottles, or I sell, boho t-shirts, or I sell, I'm trying to think of things that I actually buy. Flower prints, like hand designed flower prints that you can print out. The thing is, people don't know what to search for. They don't even know where to start with the SEO the keyword research. And I know that you said look at your testimonials and social proof, then look at sort of brain dumping some ideas of the intent, like what would someone be searching for. And that's kind of what I always tell people, is just to keep it super simple. If you sell personalized dog stickers, what is your ideal customer going to be typing into Google to find those stickers? Is it like they're looking at a gift for a friend, or they're looking at, someone's dog died and they want to give them a gift or something, or they just want a cool sticker of their dog for themselves because they're obsessed with their dog, like all of the rest of us crazy dog lovers. So I always tell people just to literally have like multiple, like a Google sheet, a Google sheet with like multiple tabs of different keywords based on like the topic. So if it's like gifts for dog people, that's like one topic of a keyword. And then another keyword topic could be something like, I don't know, like something that you'd maybe get for yourself. There's a lot of ways that we can kind of go with this. I don't want to be like too specific here, but I think people just don't even know how to get started with the keywords. They don't, and then they see all these keywords and it's like, oh my God, personalized gifts for dog people. Then the next word is like gifts for dog people. And then the next one is like a different one. And I think it's really confusing for people to know which one is the winner. And that's not always a straightforward thing. Like, you don't know what the winner is, kind of. You can look at the search volume. You can look at...
It's kind of like an educated guessing game.
Yes, exactly. Can you talk on that? Because I think that would help people feel more confident, because there is no right, or there isn't one thing that's going to work and then everything else doesn't work here. You have to try. So maybe talk on the art of like, okay, if I sell personalized dog stickers, I'm going to choose maybe like 5 keywords and then sprinkle those everywhere in my website, my product pages. And then I'm going to like test it. I don't know. Can you kind of speak on that? How do people know when it's working? How do people know maybe when it's time to change and try a different keyword or something?
Yeah, that's great. It is overwhelming, and especially when you're new to this world. I still remember, and even sometimes I still have days where I'm like, is that the best guess? Like, am I doing the right thing? Especially with client work. Like, if it's my own thing, I'm like, I'll give this a try. No big deal. But when I'm handing over client work, I'm like, is this the right thing? And you said it perfectly, and you're making an educated guess. And that's why I like starting with the social proof and what your people are actually saying, because if they're saying it, they are one of those people who at some point was looking for this. They're going to say it better than we ever will, because we are so, what do they say, like you're inside the jar and you can't read the label or something? We're too inside the jar with our own stuff. Yes. We know the jargon, we know the terms, we know what we call it. We want to be cutesy with it. But people who are looking for it, they're going to be much more matter of fact, much more kind of like boring language. So that's why I encourage you to go look at what your people have actually said. And look, if you need more, if you need to have a conversation with someone, ask. Just put out the ask, because people are more than willing to help you. Especially if they've had a great experience with you and they love you and they're out there evangelizing anyway. They want to help you win because they like your stuff and they want to see you stick around, and they want to be able to continue to come back and buy from you or send other people to you. So note what you're seeing in those testimonials. Definitely just check that against what you're seeing in the search engine pages, and does it make sense for me to land here, for someone to meet me here, for someone to see the product here. And then the other thing is, when it comes to educated guessing, like as you were saying, those phrases, I put them in Google just so I could look. So let's talk through maybe a little bit of it, that actual example still. Personalized pet stickers, I'm seeing with Ubersuggest, has a search volume of 320. remember I said 0 to 1,000. That's perfect. That's great.
Yeah.
That's the only keyword that's listed there. I think that's wonderful. So the search volume number checks out. And then if I go and kind of like dissect the search page, what I'm seeing images. So again, people, please, for the love of everything, optimize your image titles. So whenever you figure out what those keywords are, put them in your images. That helps. Make sure that they are in your product pages, because that helps. If you have a YouTube video, and you and I, when you come on the show, you were talking about the videos of like the boring packing videos that are on YouTube. Optimize those boring videos with the keywords. Those are all opportunities for you to show up, for someone to meet you, to see your product, and to go, oh, I need this. So as I'm looking at the Google page, the product pages are at the top, so of course those have been optimized. I'm seeing like some personalized dog stickers, so yes, immediately this would make total sense for your client to show up here. As I'm scrolling down the page, I'm looking and I see that section that says people also ask. And one of the first questions, can I make my dog into a sticker? I mean, perfect. Oh, so the search intent is definitely checking out. Yeah.
So, and you can make a blog post that says, can I make my dog into a sticker? Like, exactly. I love that. Sorry to interrupt you. I just got excited.
Yes. And that gives you... No. I do too. This is fine. You're my people. This is my jam. This is definitely checking out. So even before going any further down the page, I'm thinking to myself, the search intent totally checks out. The search volume totally checks out. I'm going to make sure I add personalized pet stickers to that page. Like you said, have a Google Sheet or something. I want to call something out that you were speaking about with the Google Sheet. In my head, when you were describing, like, maybe I have a friend whose dog passed away and I want to get something for them. Maybe I'm looking for another dog item because I just am obsessed with my dog. It's almost like you're coming to that product from different angles, from different, perspectives, and I love that. So as you're listening to this, as you're going through and creating your own keyword page, keep that in mind, because that's brilliant. There's going to be a variety of people who are looking for you. So that we walked through the example. Did I kind of hit on what you were hoping to talk through, or is there anything else that I could clarify?
No, that's awesome.
Because it's a big topic.
No, it's so big. It's so big. No, this is great. And then maybe just one more thing to talk about, and we'll just keep using the personalized pet sticker as an example. So Rachel has a couple key. It just makes it easier. Like we're in the dog person, topic. So we'll just kind of keep going. So Rachel has her keyword. She's going to use personalized pet sticker. She's going to possibly create a blog post now on, can I turn my dog into a sticker? Which kind of sounds funny. What kind of content? So fine. We did the keyword research. She has 5 keywords. She's going to double down. She's going to add them on her pages. She's going to add them on her, within her copywriting on her website. She's going to optimize her images. So title your images not like 12345.jpg. They should be personalized pet sticker dash gifts for dog moms dash your company name .jpg. Google cannot read your fucking jumbles. They can read the personalized pet sticker stuff. So then when someone searches for you on Google knows what you're selling because you've told them, because your images are titled. So I yell at people all the time about this. It's so important. And 99.9% of the time, even big brands make this mistake, because how you can go on a website and you can right click and save an image. I'll just randomly check them, and I'm like, what the fuck? Yep. This brand, again, JQ4.jpg, or better yet, it's like JQ4 320x320 pixel.jpg. I'm like, we don't care what your pixels are. Anyway, so she's gonna change her image title. She's also gonna add alt text. That again, alt text technically is supposed to be describing what's happening in the image. So you could put a light description, but I honestly just use the keywords from the image title as well. So again, personalized pet sticker, golden doodle sticker, brand name or something. So we've done all the on-page SEO. Now, how do we start creating blog content? When I tell people they should be blogging, the eyes glaze over. It's like end of conversation. I can't do this anymore. Like SEO kind of kills people, and then the blogging, this is like a double killer. However, it's really a double
If you've lost
killer
the
of
first half of
traffic.
people when you say SEO, then you lose the other half of people when you say blog.
Oh, you lose everyone with blogging. I feel bad for people that like teach blogging. Their job is hard. Um,
I do
tell
teach it. It's
people,
funny.
yeah. I mean, I try to just within all the stuff I talk about, I always say I want to create a blog workshop or something because it's so important. People, it's like
Yeah.
they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. And plus, a lot of people say, "Oh, blogging is dead," which it's not. I mean,
Lies.
it could be like no one wants to read your blogs about like what you ate all day. However, if we're thinking blogs
Hmm.
for strategy, again, Google matchmaker, person who's searching for something. That's how blogging works for a product-based business. So I think that's an important thing to specify because a lot of people think, oh, isn't a blog just I'm sharing like, oh, what my product does? No, not at all. So anyway, so Rachel has her pet business. She wants to drive traffic to her
Hmm.
website where she sells personalized pet stickers. How does she figure out what blog post to write about?
Yeah. So, I mean, you nailed one because we're looking in that people also ask section of Google, which literally are questions that people are asking, and Google wants to have an answer to provide them with. So, I say that
Can I
in
turn
that
my
way,
dog
but like,
into a
I'm not
sticker?
trying to be too snarky. Do what?
Sorry. There is a weird delay with our recording. I know I just joked around and I said, can I turn my dog into a sticker?
I mean, but really, because that's something that I would probably type. Like I said earlier, when people are typing something into a search engine, they're not thinking of the cutesy things. They're not thinking of the jargon that we know. They're looking for something incredibly basic, like, can I turn my dog into a sticker? I have a
Yeah.
dachshund chihuahua. Is this possible? Can you help me? And now I'm thinking of like all the dog related items because I've seen sweatshirts with like those fun little like one line drawings of like the dog and I want all of the dog stuff, especially that stuff. It's really cute. But
It is cute.
yeah, can I make my dog into a sticker would be a perfect blog topic. Other ones that you could do, you could maybe find out also in that people also ask section, I'm looking at the same Google page, what is pet sticker material? Maybe you're going to talk about like how
Cool.
your stickers are created. You could then go into like even the why of how you got started. What was the
Mhm.
catalyst for you to now be making personalized pet stickers? Talk about that. Share about that. People love a good product mission. Hand raised
Mhm.
because I certainly do.
Yeah.
Other things that you can do, just looking at the same page, we can scroll down. And at the bottom, you've probably seen this before, but maybe not paid attention to it. It says related searches, and it has those gray bubbles with other phrases in there as well. So you could say like custom cartoon pet stickers. And I will note that one says it has a search volume of 0 per month. And that doesn't mean we need to be afraid of it because 15% of searches every single day on Google are being searched for the first time. So those are the ones that are going to have the search volume of 0. I was very like leery to use anything with a search volume of 0 at the beginning. And once I
Yeah.
understood that, I was like, oh, wait a second. I could be a very big fish in a very small pond and I could really help
Yeah.
people here. So you could choose to create content around that. Maybe you hodgepodge some stuff together that you're finding on this page and you have a list of headlines, you have some image titles, you have some points that you can make, some, a story that you could walk someone through. Really analyze the search results pages. You'll be surprised the information that you can find there. But you want to have your topic, and either you come to your topic first or you come to your keyword first, but it's usually one of those two. And then just start outlining it. Really give yourself a minute to map out what is this blog going to look like. Am I just listing stuff out? Am I linking to a whole bunch of my products? Is this like a gift guide? Am I walking someone through the process of ordering? Am I walking someone through like someone's story about they ordered the stickers and it changed their life or their dog's life for the better or the worse? Like, what is the thing that you want to share with the reader?
Gotcha. I like that. I think another thing too, at least like what I did with my product-based business, and I'll just share because I did have a business that was, a pet business, so definitely relevant to the pet stickers. Um, I would also think who's my ideal customer, and then break that up into like content buckets kind of thing. So my ideal customer was someone
Mm-hmm.
who probably had a golden doodle or a golden retriever or some expensive dog, like a French bulldog or something. Because again, my product was more
Mm-hmm.
expensive, so I was trying to target people who, if you pay $3,000 for a dog, you can afford my $40 a month pet box. You know what I mean? So I
Mm-hmm.
kind of like chose dog breeds, and then I also chose different categories, like people who love planning dog birthday parties. That was my ideal customer. They used to throw lavish birthday parties for their dog. They traveled with their dog. They would do like, brunches, and they were obsessed with their dog becoming Insta famous. Like their dream in life was to have basically like to be a pet influencer with their dog. So anyway, so knowing those things about my ideal customer, I created blog content that spoke to those content buckets. So I had a lot of blog posts that weren't, by my subscription box. They spoke to questions that people were asking. What are the best dog
Mm-hmm.
toys for golden doodles? What are the different types of golden doodles? How to throw your dog's birthday party? 5 ways to grow your pet's Instagram account. So I kind of went the education route and really dove into blog content that spoke to questions that people are asking, but also
Mm-hmm.
just in general, like spoke not really questions that people are asking necessarily, but they're interested in their dogs, growing their dog's Instagram. So just kind of choosing a thing that they were into and then writing content about that. And a lot of my blog posts, did nothing. I had a couple that were grand slams, like 20, and we talked about this in your
Mm-hmm.
podcast. Like my best blog post got
Yeah.
20,000 website visitors per year. So from one blog post, this is the secret sauce of SEO. This is why you need to care. Because if you have one blog post that drives 20,000 website visitors, you're probably not even getting 5,000 website visitors from Instagram all the time, and you write a blog
Mm-hmm.
post one time. So whenever people ask me, okay, I want to do a blog, but like, what do I blog about? And they assume that they're just supposed to create content on their product. And that's not true. You can definitely talk about your product and all that, but you're more, I mean, at least how I teach it and like how I got results was creating content around things that people were asking about and then weaving my product in. So, okay, cool. You are
Yeah.
looking for a gift for your dog obsessed friend. Oh yeah, by the way, here are the five best gifts for dog people. And then you're putting your product in there. And then maybe you're an affiliate for other people's stuff and you can throw their stuff in there and then you can be an affiliate or something. So anyway, that's kind of how I always tell people to do blog content. I think there's a lot of ways that you can do it. I think it depends on honestly your industry. I think the pet industry it can be really fun. I mean, there's a lot of creativity with that. Are there anything
Mm-hmm.
other tips for the content stuff, like how people should create blog content or any tools you recommend? I know you said Uber Suggest. Is there any other tools that could maybe help people with blog ideas in particular?
Yeah, I mean, sourcing ideas, I'm big with, just like, in case I haven't hinted at it enough, listening to your people. So I say this all the time, and it's not a joke. Like, I create content based on questions that people are asking me or thoughts that are
Yep.
coming up for them. Like, I had two questions today, or two DMs today that I fielded about sales pages and SEO. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to then look at creating content around making sure that you have SEO in your sales page, just like SEO in your product page. We want the SEO
Yeah.
there so it can be found. So listening to what your people are saying, listening to what they're asking, or just like sharing with you. Maybe it's something like, oh my gosh, I didn't even think about trying to make my dog Instagram famous. That's definitely a thing now, but maybe someone has been living under a rock and they didn't know that that was a possibility, or they hadn't thought about doing that because they never thought they were going to have a dog. Really listening to your people is key. The other thing is, like you said, understanding your people and having a really good sense of like, what are their interests? What are their goals? What do they want to do? Why are they looking for stuff that you have? And just, again, let yourself brain dump. Let yourself just like think and be creative and dream things up. You could act on it and just go like, oh, immediately you know that X topic is going to be something your people are going to look for. Maybe you want to write some things out and then wait and look for that feedback from people. It'll happen, and it usually happens pretty quickly. So listening to your people, just being really clear on who you're helping and who your audience is, that can be amazing. Thinking through other collaborators, like you said, I think the affiliate links, like that's so brilliant. That's just a really smart way to think about stuff. Plus, like, I know we both love stories and we both love celebrating other people. So it's like, you know, who else can I bring in on this? What other business can I feature? What other products can I call out? Something that just came to mind, I mean, we talked about dog birthdays and like dog brunches, which is so fun. I want to do that now. But the other thing that I just thought of is like any of those like wacky, out of left field national holidays. Think through that, like map that out. There's tons of websites. So just go like pay attention to that. Just have fun with it. Maybe there's like a cause or some sort of like awareness around, you know, I'm thinking about my dog. He has a Dachshund Chihuahua. That wasn't just an example. And they have like the spinal disease. A lot of times they're kind of like predisposed to that because they're long and low to the ground. So you could, you know, if you serve a lot of people who have dachshunds or something like that, you could think about creating a blog around that. But yeah, listening to your people, being really understanding of and aware of just who they are and what they're interested in, that can be really huge. And from a tool perspective, I know that a lot of people that I help who have WordPress, they like using Yoast. And you can use Yoast, and I encourage you not to get too obsessed with all of the green lights, because Yoast, when I dabbled with it a little bit, I noticed that Yoast I only really listen to like 80% of the time. So don't get too hung up if you get like a yellow light or a red light. It's okay. As you start to understand where to plug in keywords and how to make the most of them and what your on-page strategy looks like, you won't need Yoast or any kind of tool like that as much. But it's really helpful as you're getting started.
Gotcha. I used to have WordPress for a blog, and I did like Yoast. A lot of my stuff was not the green lights. for my current business.
It helps to understand.
Yeah, my blog was on WordPress for my current business, and like we all do, we help everyone else with stuff more than we do with our own business. So my blog is definitely not super SEO'd, which I need to get back into. So, okay, this was amazing. Thank you so much, Brittany. I love chatting all about just like the blog stuff and the content ideas. Tell everyone where they can find you and how, like, what services you offer. How can people work with you?
Yeah, well, actually, as we were talking through this, I do have I think it's a 4-day email course. It's all about writing blogs with SEO. So if that is of interest to you, I periodically open that up. You'll either come to the page and it will be open, or you'll come to the page and there will be a wait list. But I do believe I'm going to open the doors to that again pretty soon. So maybe I can chat with Kerrie and figure out like a good timing for that. But I have that. I have that, like I said, the SEO basics checklist, which will be particularly helpful for you if you want to start doing SEO for your main website pages, or even like your blog pages. As it gets into product pages, I have a friend who does a much better job of that than I do, but a lot of the same principles apply. But especially if you want to revamp your SEO on your main website pages, like your home, about, contact, things like that, or your blog pages, this would be really helpful. And then if you have any other questions, I'm always happy to answer them or to point you in the right direction if it's not something that I know really well. I'm over on Instagram way too much at my name. It's Brittany_Herzberg, and I'll make sure you have that link. And then you could always poke around on the website, which I will be adding more blogs to very soon.
Nice. All right. Well, thank you so much, Brittany. So good to see you again and to chat with you.
Yeah, thank you.